In just over 6 months on the job, Ange Postecoglou has had a seismic impact at Tottenham, overturning what was a disheartened and dispirited squad into one that's motivated, inspired, energetic and hard-working, all whilst playing some of the most high-pressing, free-flowing and exciting football in the league. The signings the Australians brought in have undoubtedly been a pivotal part in that, not only in boosting the overall ability of the playing squad, but the mentality too. But what are the key traits in these players that Ange looks for so avidly? How has he been able to bed them in so swiftly? And more importantly, what do their arrivals say about the direction Postecoglou is shaping his Spurs team towards? Well, let's dive deeper. But first, please go and subscribe if you're new. Please also like the video and let us know what kind of videos you want to see next in the comments. The engagement is vital for our growth, so don't hesitate to get involved. First off, it's worth noting that Ange's signings and the profile of players Spurs have been linked with have been called into question at times, with doubts being held over whether the players they're looking at have the requisite skill set or technical qualities that offer the side the unique profile and different source of threat they need. The signing of Timo Werner poses an excellent example of these doubts. The German's strengths are well known. He's an incessant yet intelligent presser, whilst his blistering pace and clever movement mean he also frequently stretches defences and is a significant threat in counter-attacking scenarios. However, he lacks technical refinement and his decision-making in the final third can be poor and inconsistent, meaning he struggles to take on his man in 1v1s or retain possession and create chances himself in attacking situations. These physical strengths and technical weaknesses are very similar to those of Richarlison and Brennan Johnson. This means that when Spurs come up against deep blocks without open space ahead of them, they often struggle to retain possession, create chances and subsequently sustain pressure on their opponents in and around the box. It's therefore understandable that questions were asked over whether Spurs needed another one of these profiles rather than a specialist 1v1 winger, for example, who would offer the side an excellent source of creativity, whether it be by taking on his man and looking for a cross or cutback, or simply by just attracting defenders to open up space for others. However, it's rare that this type of player has the physical and mental traits that the likes of Werner, Richarlison and Johnson possess. This is crucial because it's those traits, rather than the more technical abilities, that Ange is prioritising in his players. Of course, they still need to have the basics, to be secure in possession and capable of playing under pressure, but they don't need to have elite ball progression or creativity. Rather, Ange is looking for the physical and athletic abilities such as strength, stamina, speed, but also the intangibles like versatility, bravery and work rate. These are the fundamental traits that allow Ange's players to carry out his tactical demands effectively. They enable them to press relentlessly with intensity, attack with speed and purpose, and constantly aim to give the opponent no time to breathe, both in and out of possession. Crucially, these attributes also allow new signings to carry out their tactical roles in an extremely demanding system, whilst seamlessly adapting to one of, if not the most physical and high quality leagues in the world. Van de Ven and Udogie are prime examples of the type of profile Ange looks for in his players, and how said profile have enabled both of those players to adapt to and thrive in Ange's system so rapidly. Their respective physical abilities and bravery ensure that they're able to play in a high line, to be proactive and win their 1v1 duels, whilst it also means Ange gives them the trust and confidence to be in those situations and have that level of responsibility, because he knows they are capable of carrying out those tasks. As such, with these two, as well as the likes of Sarr and Richarlison carrying out the more physical tasks, it provides the platform for those such as Maddison, Romero and Porro to maximise their own abilities and lead the side in the creative and progressive areas. This also gives time for each player to improve upon their technical abilities and refine their in-possession game over time, in comparison to a player with the inverse strengths and weaknesses of Van de Ven or Udogie, who may get knocked off the ball easily or get lost in the pace of a game too often to consistently impose their technical qualities. See Giovanni Lo Celso or Bryan Gil, for example, both of whom have struggled to break into Ange's side. Dragusin is another player who will also benefit from his physical attributes as he beds in. Although the Romanian may not have the on-ball security or progressive ability as Romero, his upper body strength, recovery speed and aerial ability means he can handle the initial challenges he'll face in the division, such as defending the box or wide channels, whilst he builds on the more technical skills like playing out from the back and drawing the opponent's press, skills which he already attains to a more than adequate level and will only get better at. Of course, a squad filled with predominantly athletic players does also pose some weaknesses for Spurs, most pertinently in attack. For example, having players with lots of physical attributes who thrive off the ball means they need to be consistently supplemented with more creative profiles. And whilst this does work when everyone is available and on form, it can see the side become over-reliant on those such as Maddison and Kulusevski to create chances, subsequently meaning Spurs face issues when those two are absent or marked out of the game. Additionally, Spurs can struggle against technically superior opposition, especially when they inevitably tire out and become unable to outrun the other side, whilst we have already mentioned their inefficiency against deep blocks. However, these weaknesses have mainly been so frequent due to injuries, and they will likely get better over time, as the team has the basic abilities to perform the intense fundamental tasks that Ange's system requires, and therefore they can work on their ability to execute the various patterns of play and creative, progressive responsibilities with more experience over time, as these areas of the game are those that take more time to learn and develop. This is the crucial point. Spurs are only in the early stages of the squad building process, and that is exactly why Ange is implementing this strategy of prioritising mental, physical and athletic attributes over the more technical ones right now. He is ensuring the foundations of this Spurs side will enable them to compete physically and mentally, while sprinkling in players with rarer technical qualities like Maddison and Porro, in the process to ensure his team get over the line in the meantime, whilst the other players mature and develop their technical game. All in all then, although it's often the technical players who produce the game-changing moments that win titles, their qualities are unable to shine without the exceptional athleticism, hard work and bravery to supplement them. And it's those traits which Postecoglou's side has in abundance. This, when paired with the constant strive to take risks and persevere with their playing style, means that once Spurs develop into a more technically and tactically adept side, they will already have the physical and mental fundamentals to make them a truly frightening opposition.